Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kalkadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, bishops of Great Stone, to Akim and Akwath, throughout the four corners of the earth, holding on in sincerity and in truth to the gospel of Lord Amashak Yahushua in these days and times. Brahman Asher with the DC camp. Not a short lesson for the hopeful elect. And the situation with Esau's military spread throughout the four corners of the earth has become a cost on the minds of the families of these so-called soldiers, man. All right, and you know how it is. Esau's system. You know, he's into all types of psychological mind games that he plays, and eventually, you know, the Lord will have to crush that, and it's just what you see with the uprisings in these different foreign countries that do not want military bases in their land because of them being used as a magnet for so-called extremists. That's what the Esau has done. You know, he puts those bases in those foreign countries, and then he always like to create a narrative that you got some terrorism in the nearby region that they have to deal with, and then he leaves the soldiers there as sitting ducks. You know, so it's just a matter of time that the American people will begin to demand, you know, they bring the soldiers home. But hey, the Lord has a different plan. So it's all according to the Lord's plan, man. You know how Esau destroys his own soldiers, his own military men, you know, women, and plays games. You know, plays games with them. And at the end of the day, you know, it's all gonna lead to what you call a so-called civil war or sedition and uprisings and all that stuff. So it's just part of the recipe, you know. So when they see that there's so much financial and what you call a capital corruption, then they're going to understand they're just being used as pawns. So enough of that. Just go straight to the point, man, because at the end of the day, the conclusion is to have the soldiers, you know, being mobilized to be in the Middle East for that war of Armageddon. You know, so it's just a part of prophecy we all have to look forward to. And Joel chapter 2 verse 30 says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army." So, all right, so that's the American army, okay, the American military, all right, "and will drive them into a land barren and desolate." So they're gonna be over there in the Middle East, you know, in the Gulf region, man. They already have their bases over there, you know, and what else? When they have their bases over there, they're still also going to use their so-called bases in Africa as a backup, you know. So it's only a matter of time that the skirmish, the war over there escalates, and it's all by design. You just have to accept it for what it is, you know. So they have to drive that point of conflict, you know, the so-called Arab-Israeli conflict. They have to push it to the next level, and it's just part of the necessary ingredient, you know, that the Lord has to allow to come to pass, so that our salvation, the salvation of the Israelites, all right, the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, to be realized. All right. Then it says, and his head and his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea. All right. So all that movement, in the Persian Gulf, in the Euphrates, and the Red Sea, all that is gonna, be a major region, man, where you're gonna have the people. You're gonna see the soldiers, man. You're gonna see those aircraft carriers. They're gonna be busy around there. All right. Then it says, and his sting shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things. All right. So the Lord is going to allow those soldiers to be obliterated, man. They're going to be casualties of this World War III. All right. The third war coming is just a major factor in the power shift that the Lord has to allow to take place. It's the Lord that's going to do it. It's not just going to be by the hand of man. All right. So the Lord has sent for that lying spirit. That's why Amalek controls the land of Israel. That's why Amalek controls America, controls the EU and NATO. All right. So it's just what we're looking forward to, and it's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. So I'm going to play this clip. It's from this senator, all right, over here in America, talking about the complaints that these soldiers have, the ones that are stationed in Niger, West Africa. Yeah, so, when those folks over there in Africa Jake over there, man, don't want to deal with Esau because they're not really seeing the results that they really need to combat all these jihadists. And then it's time to switch it up, you know. So when the results don't come, despite all the advanced military prowess of the United States, it doesn't work in their favor. They just have to cancel the agreement. So, and the people, man, the population is behind it, man, because they're getting tired of their efforts being ridiculed and trampled down. All right, now they see that hey, if they could find the opportunity to defend themselves, they will. But what's the use having a so-called superpower stationed on your land, but then there's nothing to show for it? All right, so it's just that the people want to. They want the results, but when the results are not showing up, empty promises, all that here and there, the Pentagon dragging their feet. Now they see that America is not really a force for peace. It's just a front, a cover for these so-called jihadist group that are on Esau's payroll. All right, and you have soldiers that have left the army that are saying the same thing, that all these big corporations, man, that they have their funds going towards these terrorist groups. So it's just what it is, man. So I'll play the clip real quick, man, and then I get some more precepts.
The government has stopped us from doing diplomatic overflight missions. So we have Army soldiers right now in Niger who aren't getting their troop rotations, who aren't getting their medicine, who aren't getting their supplies, who aren't getting their mail, and the two senior people in the United States Army are sitting before me, and it's like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
And the funny thing is, during the CH-19, man, you could see exactly what they did to those soldiers, man. Coercion, and all that stuff. That some that got kicked out, they got the call back, but how many of them returned? And then you talk about the collateral damage, man, from enforcing all these mandates, man. Got a lot of soldiers messed up, and they're not really reporting it. The medical side effects, their lives has basically been turned upside down, despite all the so-called patriotic, patriotism they want to push. So it's just another sad chapter, in these so-called believers in American exceptionalism. So, it's going down the drain. There's nothing much they can do, man. They're just going to decide when they're going to close their eyes and, pray that the impact is not as bad. They know they're going to, be wasted away, but they just want an impact that doesn't bother them in the long run. But hey, it doesn't matter what they think, so it's a sad chapter for them. And, this is just part of the bitter parts of the scriptures, all right? The demoralization of these servicemen and women. It's not just the servicemen, from the top down, man, from the military all the way to the so-called police department, everything is just getting torn apart, man. They see the scams, they see the funny money, political, subterfuge, the undermining of the so-called government by these foreign agents. So it's just what it is, man. They just have to deal with it. So I get another precept. It's gonna be from the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 51. Yeah, because there is no motivation for them, man. There's no motivation for these soldiers to keep on fighting, despite all the evidence of false narratives, false intelligence being cooked up to drive them into a foreign battle that is not necessary, according to their mind. But, prophecy is just what it is. Who has resisted the will of the Heavenly Father? Yeah, not one. So Jeremiah 51:30 says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might had failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. All right. So this is just, the aftermath of America's crumbling, man. It's going to be evident that, the nation of America, the Republic, will not be able to hold back the damage that has been done. All right. So when you see all this crumbling of the economy and crime and unemployment, just ravishing the land, how are you going to motivate soldiers to be at their best on the battlefield when they know that the people back home are being oppressed, when they see all these unjust decrees being passed by Congress, and the Senate? What do you think, is going to happen? So it's going to turn into a mutiny, man. You're going to start seeing generals getting smoked, just like situations that happened in Vietnam. Oh boy, the mutiny is going to be horrific, man. Because when you have false narratives being pushed into the reports, yeah, man, it becomes a problem. Nobody wants to go to war based on a lie. All right, nobody wants to lose their so-called cohorts based on a lie. But when they know there's a track record of lies being told, then what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, they're just going to do something else, man. And that's exactly what's going to be, happening very soon. Okay. And verse 31 says, one post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another. All right, so they're going to be sending reports to themselves, man. They're going to be going from one location to the other to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end, right? So when you have the invasion, man, when these foreign forces set foot on American soil during World War III, that is it, man. It's going to make the Battle of Normandy look like oil in a hot pan. Yeah, so it's gonna be messed up, man. That's what's gonna happen. And yeah, the men of the Lord are gonna be protected in their day, man. Their faith will be on spiritual steroids. All right. So it's just gonna be a hard pill to swallow for these folks that have put all their trust in the American power structure. All right. And verse 32 says, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. All right. So when you have the infrastructure being demolished, there's not going to be a proper movement, man. When you have mines in the water, being positioned in key locations, how are you going to have proper troop movement and deployment? So just imagine, man, underwater mines. Horrible. Yeah, nothing's coming in, nothing's coming out. And then you have the land invasion. Yeah, man. And then you have they have the airspace on lock. So it's gonna be horrible. But hey, this is war. So hey, whatever happens, happens. So you just gotta be spiritual, and don't lose faith. So I'll play some more of this clip, man. So just to have an idea of the situation that these soldiers got to deal with, because easy thing, just put them out the bases, man. The people in those lands don't want Esau in their country with the military. Yeah, just move them on. But the State Department and the Pentagon will be playing games, trying to buy time and delay and delay and delay. So it's just gonna further frustrate those soldiers, man. They're just gonna walk off the base. They're gonna walk off the base. All they're gonna do is just take a transportation across the border to the next country, and buy a ticket, and they fly. They fly home. Yeah, that's how messed up it can get, man. So I play the clip, man.
Are you going to do anything for the soldiers that are in Niger right now who can't get medicine? Yes or no? There is a
Yeah, so it's messed up, man. When supplies are running low, and the soldiers are being used as pinata, what else do you think they're gonna be focusing on, man? That perspective will be, let's say paranoid, man. Paranoid, man. Yeah, because they understand exactly what happened in Afghanistan, all right? When the botched, the so-called withdrawal, despite all the warnings, they messed it up. Something that's supposed to have gone, proceeded without hiccups. You become a pariah for the whole world. So it just shows you, man, that the soldiers are basically on their own. They're left out there to dry, hang out and dry, and hey, who knows what's going to happen to them, man, because the so-called jihadis that Esau has on his payroll, who knows what they're going to do, who knows if the locals are going to join the military to fight against them. Anything can happen at that time, man. Then you still have the Russians, setting up shop there based on the invite by the military of Niger. So Esau's army is basically in a tough position, man. When you on the same area, proximity to your rivals, so it just shows you that it's a wrap for Esau's power structure, man. And Jake is waking up. The Jakes over there in West Africa, over there in Africa, they're waking up, man. And very soon, man, Haiti is gonna have another situation, and then from there it's gonna spread to South America, Central America, and from Mexico all the way down to Chile, all that stuff, man. They're gonna be pissed off. They're gonna understand that the Western financial system is not functional, and they're gonna revolt. So everything's gonna start. All that stirring up of the spirits over there in West Africa is gonna have an effect on Latin America, man. Okay, Caribbean, from Venezuela, Cuba, you name it, Brazil, all the way, whether it's Paraguay, Uruguay, um, Ecuador, and then you got the kicker, uh, Mexico. So it's just gonna be what you call a shit show, man, for Esau, man. When the people starts to rise up, man, that's it, man. That's it. They get tired of all the bullying, and the henchmen of Esau no longer have a firm grip. Then that's it. The dominoes are gonna start falling.
Concerning situation in Niger that has been brought to the attention of Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz. It appears that the U.S. troops stationed there have been abandoned and are facing dire circumstances. According to Gaetz, Joe Biden's Secretary of State Blinken has failed to address the situation effectively. Gaetz shared that the government of Niger has stopped the U.S. from conducting diplomatic overflight missions, which has resulted in major challenges for the troops stationed there. The Army soldiers in Niger are not receiving their troop rotations, medicine, or even basic supplies. This challenges for the troops stationed there. The Army soldiers in Niger are not receiving their troop rotations, medicine, or even basic supplies. This has put their health and safety at risk, which is a major concern.
Yeah, so that's just what Esau's been doing, man, to his soldiers, man. He's not on point when it comes to giving them the best of his word. It's always some phony promises, and his delaying tactics, man. The idea of stop loss, just like what they did in Iraq. A lot of soldiers were furious, man. And when the soldiers came back, they weren't happy with the treatment that they got from the Pentagon. So it's just what it is, man. Then you have all the jokes made by Bush, Obama, and whoever else it is, man, being the so-called what you call it, correspondence dinner, all the jokes, So when you just read the newspapers, man, you see the faces of all these soldiers, man. Damn, you're like, oof. Oh my goodness, man. Private this, private that, colonel, sergeant, staffs, who knows what what ranks they have, man. Young men and women and all that stuff. Edomites, Jakes, all that. Elam, Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, you know, all of Esau's army just coming back in body bags, and then when somebody takes a picture of the coffins arriving on the plains and at Dover, Delaware, it becomes a so-called headache for the media. So it just shows you, man, that the media is not on the side of the military, and they know that, and the military knows that for a fact. So those that made money off the scam, they have to figure out how they're gonna move in these last days, man. Because yeah, it's one thing you don't do, man. You don't send folks to the battlefield and then turn around and stab them in the back. So that's just Esau's diagnosis, man, of his system falling apart, man. And it's just prophecy, man. The Lord has to bring about the division. That's Shai talked about. When a kingdom divided against itself, falls, folks gonna know exactly who to blame. All right, and so far, the hands, the fingers are pointing at these so-called elected officials, man, that are on the payroll of the Edomite elites, and they're also looking at all these big firms on Wall Street, the CEOs and the shareholders and all that stuff. They got their eyes on them, so there's nothing much, to focus on, but to go after the enemies, man, that have wrecked their pensions and all that stuff, wrecked their school system, wrecked their healthcare system, wrecked the whole system, and then pump all these antipsychotic drugs into their children, all that stuff, So it's just how you see the journey of Babylon unfolding. All right. So Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 33 says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Yeah, so that's the falling apart of the family structure of Esau, man. And it's not just going to be Esau, man. Jake's too. When there is no support system, there's nothing the women can do, man. They're going to just lose it. How fragile, how frail the psyche of a woman is. They're just going to go mad, man. Depression, all that stuff, man. They're going to go into what you call a tailspin, man. So they're going to become what you call it, preyed upon. All right, they're going to be preyed upon. That's just what's going to happen. The streets are going to, scoop them up. All right, that's how messed up it's going to be. So verse 34 says, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right, so you see that? It tells you when there is no supplies coming in, to the military base. When there is no food coming in, all that stuff. You can't have no food, while you're on the base because of supply line has been compromised and all that stuff. What do you think is going to happen? How are folks going to fight on an empty stomach? You can't have access to clean water, medicine, food and all that stuff. So it just shows you, man, that war is not something to play around with, man. War is not for the faint of heart. This so-called dispensation of time, man, you're just going to see that the folks are going to be upset, That's why when they say when there's famine, folks are gonna start turning towards cannibalism, and don't be surprised if the soldiers start eating eating folks over there too. But it's sad, that a lot of folks that were warned, they won't want to listen, and then they get themselves, you know, jammed up, and now they have to become animalistic. But hey, that's the judgment of the Lord, you know, judgment of the Lord. Now, verse 34, I read again. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So, casualties of war, man, when they get obliterated by all these IEDs and all these missiles and rockets and chemical weapons, it's just going to show you that the scriptures is true, man. That's why Esau is fighting so hard to undermine the validity of this holy scriptures, the words of the Lord, Abashima Shai, Abashima Kwakadash. And it's just something, we look forward to seeing, man. Esau attacking the gospel. But hey, attacking the gospel doesn't mean he's going to have victory. It just shows that, he's finally revealing his hand. And just like Yahushua said, through his apostles, man, that only he who not let it. We let, until Esau be taken out of the way, man. So the Lord put Esau in place for a certain reason, and it's only a matter of time that Esau gets eliminated, all right? So go to another precept. It's going to be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. And I'll just move it real quick. I'm going to read from 13 or 16. It says, therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. All right? In the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. So the Lord is going to show how much violence he has to unleash upon the face of the earth, man. All right? The governments of this world are going to have to deal with the vengeance of the Lord. All right? All right? They're going to be shaken, man. They're going to see all types of things up in the sky, man. Above the earth's atmosphere. All types of sightings of all the angels, the chariots, all right? And the vibration of the earth will change, man. You're going to see different spectrums, man. And that is just a brief description of what you're going to see. You can imagine how much more when you see it in person. And it shall be as a chaste roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. All right, so abandonment is coming, man. The sense of the lack of attention, lack of some things being a priority. It's just what's going to be the order of the day, man. A lot of things that held in high esteem among the people are going to be neglected. All right, neglect is going to be the order of the day, man. Chaos, man. So that's what's going to be fear. What some folks like to call neglect and all that stuff, and apathy. This is going to be spreading rampant, man. A lot of folks are going to have to downsize, man. Cut back their coat according to their size, man. They're going to have to make cut their losses and all that stuff. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. All right. So businesses are gonna get boarded up, man. folks are just gonna pack up and leave, man. They're just gonna say, you know what? Forget about all this inventory they have in the store. They're just gonna sell everything they have and move on back to their lands, man. And those that cannot afford to travel, they're just gonna remain among their own people. We're gonna have pockets of ethnicities, man. Folks divided according to their racial lines and all that stuff. Elam's gonna stay with Elam, Cush with Cush, Moab with Moab. You know, Jake's gonna be among Jake's, Esau among Esau, all that stuff, man. So it's just exactly what's gonna happen. And then verse 15 says, "Everyone that is found shall be trusted true, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword." All right. So, hey, that's just what it is, man. Those that have decided to go against the Lord, it's just what it is, man. The Lord is going to be the one administering that violence, administering the judgment, okay? So, you can't feel bad when the Lord is making an effort to correct. To correct the misdeeds upon the face of the earth. So it's just some things to keep in mind, seriously. The Lord has to make a correction. So that's the reason why he's bringing strokes of judgment upon the face of the earth. All right. Everyone that is found shall be trusted true. And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So violence is going to become a major ingredient that the Lord has to apply to this situation that we are seeing before our eyes. All right. Then verse 16 says, "Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished." All right. So it's just the bitterness of the scriptures, man, that a lot of people don't like to talk about in the churches, man. All they want to talk about in the churches is about the blessings of the Lord. The Lord shall make you prosper. The Lord shall prevent that enemies from setting their hands upon your resources. Prosperity doctrine, all that, trying to psych people up. But they don't really tell you about this, the dark sides of the scripture, the bitter parts of the scriptures, man, that hardly get enough mentioning. All right. So it's just, the Lord showing that the churches of this world are nothing compared to what the elect are accomplishing. All right. So, it's a good sign, that the people would know, who has a proper truth of the gospel and who doesn't. All right. Yeah. So when a man is at war, who's going to protect his family? You can't depend on the police officers. You can't depend on these politicians to be out there with their guns and their equipment, to protect the people. All these folks up there and all this congressmen, they're up to no good. They're not about the people. All I do is just make a couple of speeches, push for draconian legislation, take kickbacks and all that. That's about it. Kickbacks, draconian legislations, and and empty words, man. That's all it is, man. That's what their life centers around. All right. And if you think they care about what the people desire, that's a huge joke. All right. Then Jeremiah 30:6 says, "And ye now, ask ye now and see." Jeremiah 30:6. "Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Alright, that's a figure of speech. Have you ever seen a man that's been pregnant? Nope. Can a man get pregnant? Never. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins? So a man's gonna forget his proper nature, man. When a man has a mental breakdown under violent circumstances, he chickens out, man. When a man is not been raised properly, you're just gonna see his mental breakdown. All right. As a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. All right. So this is exactly when Yahushua talks about the thief. When it comes like a thief in the night, this is the reaction of the people. All right. So it's gonna be sadness, man, fear, paleness of the face, fear, lack of. So when they say someone's face is pale, that means it's like they're like an inch away from death. That the spirit has left their body. The energy is out of sync. There is no sign of vibrancy in them. When someone is sad and depressed and all that stuff, you see the pale, see how pale their countenance is. That's exactly what you're going to be seeing more in these days, man, when the Lord puts that spirit of fear, spirit of doubt, spirit of failure upon the minds of these people. That spirit of depression, that heavy spirit of I don't care anymore. They're giving up. You're gonna see the results, man. All right. Now looking at the precept, Isaiah chapter 19, and then verse 16. What does it say? In that day shall Egypt be like unto women. All right. So frailty, weakness, lack of courage, right? And it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. All right. So when the Lord starts to apply pressure to America's institutions, man, a lot of folks are going to give up the ghost, man. They're not going to be able to take it anymore. Yeah. So, your so-called pharmacy is going to run out of drugs to sedate the minds of the people. So if you think this medication is going to help people in those days, nope. Yep. It's going to be a shortage of medication. All right. And then folks are just going to lose it, man. That's why you got to have the word of the Lord to keep you stable. All right. So now we get another precept from the book of Sirach. Yeah. So when the people believe the lies, there's nothing, that they can do to protect themselves when they've already been sold down the river. Now they're about to go over the waterfall. Yeah, so that's how messed up it is, man. For this so-called blind, all right? And what do you think the people are going to do? They're going to be upset with their so-called leaders, man. And they're going to be cursing them out, just like it's saying here. Protests and all that stuff are going to be running rampant across the whole country. Sirach 28:13. Curse the whisperer and double-tongued, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. All right? Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of posts on social media, man, just hurling insults and curses at all these so-called elected officials, man. You're gonna have all types of threats that Esau will be so upset, like how they're gonna catch up and keep up with all these uproar of the people. Yeah, I wish I'd talk about that. Matthew 24, the uproars of the people. Yeah, so yeah, when they start coming with their pitchforks and tikis and machetes and broomsticks, yeah, man, to go after the swamp. What else do you think is gonna happen? Confrontation, So it's just what it is. That's just the downfall of society when the people are looking up to their so-called civil representatives, and the results that they're looking for are not realized. Then that's it. Frustration is not something you play around with, man. Frustration with a weak mindset, it's a bad disaster. Just like you have shame and ignorance, you don't want to mix those two together, man. Yeah, shame and ignorance, and oh my goodness, yeah, lack of courage, and doubt. That's just a recipe for a person to just become out of control. Now it says, "For such have destroyed many that were at peace." So spreading of falsehoods, has destroyed families, man. Now families are empty-hearted, man. You know, the picket fence has no more meaning. What picket fence has no more meaning? The family reunion is no longer achievable anymore. Why? Because of the folks have depended so much on the tongue of the whisperer. They've hearkened unto lies, all right? And then verse 14 says, "A backbiting tongue hath disquieted many, and driven them from nation to nation." All right? So that's what instability comes from. The division. When there is no unity, that's what happens. Backbiting. It's one of those things that you have to refrain from. And when you have the unity of the body, there is no backbiting. There is no spreading of falsehoods and all that stuff. And, you just deal with each other sincerely. All right. Now it says, "Strong cities had it pulled down and overthrown the houses of great men." So it's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. So when you have the spreading of falsehoods, the people are just gonna get tired of it, man. And some are gonna fall for the falsehoods. Some are gonna have to stand up against it. So you're gonna have a clash. So they're gonna go against each other. And it's just how the Lord has scheduled the demise of Esau's kingdom, the demise of Babylon. All right. So one more precept and I'll wrap it up. It's from the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verses 7 and 8, and that's what it says. First off, from verse 6, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" Yeah, so when the soldiers on the front lines are asking questions and they're not getting any answer, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to apply more pressure, man. You're not getting any response that is befitting of their representatives. How are they going to be able to push forward? So they're going to have to dial it back, dial it back. When they start feeling homesick and all that stuff, it just shows you that, the war is not exactly what they're looking forward to, man. They looked at it as a so-called training mission. But then, when the war happens, man, they will have to fight. Otherwise, they're gonna get run over. Yeah, but that's just how messed up it is, man. So when they're in a quagmire and they can't get themselves out of it, they're just gonna off themselves. So it's just so many, so many factors that has been stacked against these so-called soldiers, man. So it's hey, another chapter of sadness for them in their lives, man. But it's just how the Lord has set it up. All right, that the power structure of Esau has to fail. Yeah. So by studying Esau's military and all the falsehoods they have to hold on to, the false philosophies, it just shows you that the army is just one step from getting crushed. All right, just one step away from getting crushed. Now, verse 7, Obadiah 1:7 says that all the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. All right, so they brought in thee towards the border of the battle. All right, then, all right, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All right, so you see that deception, the backbiting tongue, the double tongue. All right, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah, so it's just what it is when it comes to the planning of America's downfall. It's just some things that we have to admit that the so-called powers that be, man, they're just using America as a smokescreen to accomplish their goals. When the soldiers don't want to go along, all of a sudden they're just gonna be squeezed, man. Use them as target for the reservoir dogs, the so-called jihadis. So that's how messed up, the situation is, man. Yeah, so that's the point there. The Northern Army is in a tough position, man. So you can imagine when all the side effects of all these CH, whatever you want to call them, CH juice start to hit hard. You can imagine, and then you have the oppression in society. The martial law lockdown. What do you think the soldiers are going to be thinking about? What do you think their focus would be? When they cannot have any redress with their government. So it just shows you that Babylon's on its way out. And it's just how the Lord has set it up, man. It's a transition. It's a transition that we all have to observe. And it's just the Lord showing his power. And a lot of folks are upset and angry. There's nothing, they can do. If you're an Israelite, you just have to pray that the Lord have mercy upon you in those days, man. That's how your faith remains intact. And you remain responsible with the gospel of the Lord Amashak Yahushai. So that was the point that I can, Baratazar, you've been edified, and just keep your eye out on the dynamics of these soldiers overseas, man, and at home too, and just monitor the situation, and then you understand that a lot of things are just brewing under, and it's only a matter of time that we see the aftershocks or the results. So that's it. Hakim Abaratazar, edified, and Allah, Yahabashim, Shabashim, Kadash, and double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, Grim Stone, to the Hakim Aqua, to the Falcons, the earth. Yeah, stay in tune with prophecy, man, because, we're in a time of brewing war. So just be ready. Be ready. Don't let anything catch you off guard. Just stay ready in the scriptures. Shalom.